What's up, y'all? You're kicking it with the Junkyard Dog on junkyarddoggs.com. So we're going to take apart the superchargers and see what's going on inside, just to check the rotors, see if any of the coating is stripped off, check the bearings, see if they look good, and check the coupler, see if it's all worn out. All right, we got to start to tend to these superchargers. So these are front-loading superchargers, meaning that everything comes in from the front. So we have some 10mm bolts here for the M90s. I'm going to pull them out. There's some really stinky oil that's inside of here to oil the gears, and there's something called a coupler, and it's plastic and it usually goes bad, so that you get the slop. This one's pretty good, but that one's not too bad either. They must have been changed sometime in the service life. I have other superchargers where you can hear it literally go clank, 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 which is really bad. All right, so let's get a 10mm socket and take these off. Just go ahead and take them off. Pretty long. All right, so what I like about these superchargers is at the back here, as you can see, they have a bypass system set up with a vacuum actuator, which is pretty dope. So I'm gonna just do one first over here. This table's got holes in it, so when I tap it and the oil comes out, it's not gonna like hurt anything or get messy. Keep it on tap. Boom! Ooh, it's coming all out. Supercharger oil. This stuff reeks. It smells like straight poop. You know what I'm saying? So this is what the inside of it looks like. All right. So when it's turning, it's got these three little pegs that turn this coupler, which is this part right here. These usually go bad, but this one's in really good condition. So at some point during the car's life, somebody changed it. So you see that it turns this side of the supercharger right here, which in turn turns the other side, and they kind of turn into each other. So these gears are lubricated by the oil that was sitting in there. All right. Now the next thing you want to do after you take the front part of the supercharger off is you want to get the blades out. And the reason why I want to get the blades out is because I want to check them to make sure that there's no cracks or any funky business going on in there. So usually what I'll do is I'll lightly tap on the inside here away from the blade with a little punch. That will give me some leeway. Whatever you do with these, do not stick a screwdriver in between here. Like, don't do that, because once you do that, you ruin the surface and it won't be able to seal anymore, and then it'll just become impossible to work with and useless. So like I mentioned earlier, take a punch, come from the inside here, watch the blades. There it is, okay? Just don't want to hit the surface. And then we'll remove the rotors, all right? So basically what you're looking for is like chips and scratches and all that bad stuff. It looks pretty good, even though, is that grease on the bearing surface here, or the bearing's bad? I don't know. It looks pretty good. So the surface back here should be smooth. That means the bearing's bad and you got to go in there and change it. But other than that, they look pretty good. The rotors look pretty good. I don't see any chips or anything on it. Now you don't want to remove this coating because it's a Teflon coating, so it helps it with the friction. This is the reason why the Chevy ones don't use an intercooler. There's a little bit of scratches there, but I don't think that's anything out of the ordinary for these superchargers. So this one's actually in really good shape. We look inside the bore here. We're gonna look at the bearings. So I might end up having to go in here and change these bearings out, and we'll see if this inside here is still usable. I'll just judge by the other one when we take this other one apart. That'll tell me whether or not I'm dealing with something that's normal or if it's jacked the hell up. All right. And thank God, these blades look pretty good too. Cool. All right, so no chips, no damage on those blades. Let's see what the inside looks like here. Same thing, it's just scrapey. Same deal. So I'm just assuming that that's like one of the natures of this this supercharger at this point, because they're both scrapey on the inside. Scrapey meaning that the superchargers have expanded at some point and hit the walls. This one's definitely worse than the other one. So I have two more of them here, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna strip them all down and take the one with the least scrapes, use that. And that way I can say, all right, you know. So let's, I'm gonna go ahead and pull these apart, and then I'm gonna take them to get hot tanks, clean that up. And that way, it'll be absolutely mwah by the time we're done. All right. So yeah, that's it for Supercharger Disassembly for right now. And yeah, let's keep it going, man. Alright y'all, so we are now out here at Anaheim Gear. So these are the guys who are doing the custom work to the input shaft on the LS1. So we're gonna head in here. They shortened it down to the Cobra length, and they also re-tipped it for the Cobra width. And I'm gonna show you guys what that means in a minute. Come on, let's go inside. So there we go, side by side. This is the Ford Cobra, and this used to be LS1. So basically just had it cut down so it's the same height. And as you can see here, they informed me here that this is actually stronger because there's less cuts and not as deep of cuts actually. There's more cuts but not as deep. As you can see here on the 10 spline, if you really look at it from the top, there's less meat there, right? But you got this one here, it's nice and beefy. Ready for Project Mayhem. All right, let's get out of here. So what's up, man? I told him I was gonna put him on camera, but I did anyways. All right, so we back in the doghouse, man, from Anaheim Gear. I've been working with that place for a long time. They sell some products on junkyarddoggs.com. Just a great supplier for transmission parts. They're beyond just a transmission parts warehouse. They actually can repair and rebuild some of your parts. So if you got like a case that's got stripped bolts, or if you have like a main shaft where the tip is, you know, destroyed or whatever, you can always go to Anaheim Gear and they'll take care of it for you and send you right back out the door. I mean, it's an amazing place, and I've been working with them for a long time. As you guys saw when we went there, I went and got this input shaft from them, and I got a Cobra front plate and the Cobra throwout bearing sleeve. Okay. I got a question on the last episode as to why I went with the Chevy T56 instead of the Cobra T56. The way that Ford ordered, because remember, T56 is made by Tremec, okay? And Tremec originally is a Mexican company that made transmissions for Fords and Chevys and other various vehicles like the Dodge Viper and Corvette and all that stuff. So with that in mind, they ordered a gear set to work optimally with their engines and their rear end gear ratios. They did all the math. The T5, which is the 5-speed, has a 0.68 overdrive in 5th gear, and the T56 has a 0.62. I don't really see the big point in that, but there is, because number one, the rear end ratio for the Cobra, I think it's something like the 0304 Cobras are something like 355, which means that the 062, I mean, you can still get some pretty decent, you know, fuel mileage with it. But in Mayhem here, we have a 410. So I need the lowest 6 gear ratio as possible. because I'll still have a lot of pull in 6th gear with that gear ratio that I have. So that's why I chose a Chevy transmission. And then the second reason why I chose the Chevy transmission is because they come stock with a 26 spline input shaft. For me to buy that same input shaft from Tremec, for some reason T56 parts are super expensive. That shaft would have cost me upwards of about $200, you know? So with me buying a LS1 input shaft and having Anaheim Gear turn it down for me, I think I came out at like $75 total, you know what I mean? So that's a good way to cut corners, a safe way to cut corners, and then you get the stronger shafts and you get the better gear ratio for a race application, all right? So there it is, that's the explanation behind why I'm using a Chevy transmission in a Ford, even though it's a Tremec transmission, not a Chevy transmission, whatever. So I got a nice announcement for y'all. Another contest. We haven't had a contest in a long time. Yeah, things are kind of shaky, they're kind of weird. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been posting a lot more now. So we're back on track, we're back on deck. I gotta start to learn not let my personal issues like affect the show, but life is life, things happen, all right? So we have a giveaway from Black Magic Car Care products, okay? They hooked your boy up, they're one of my sponsors, as you can see here, you know, Formula D. If you are interested in the car care package, I'm gonna tell you like this. My contests are really easy and they're real. Like, you know how they have those contests where they're like, oh, you know, submit your email right now and you might be able to win, and then nobody wins? No, if you look at some of my old videos, people win my products, man. If you go to my Instagram, same thing. People win the products that I give away. Real people, you know, not some fantasy guy, not one of my buddies, actual people, you know. So to win this Black Magic Car Care product gift pack, you just gotta be the first 3 Junkyard Dogs to go ahead and post 5 products on junkyarddoggs.com. 5 viable parts. I mean, I'm not talking about you posted a bolt or you posted, you know, something really stupid like, oh, you know, I'm posting my hand for sale or whatever. It's something dumb. It's gotta be 5 viable products, you know, like a throwout bearing, you know, a gasket set, or, you know, valve covers, something like that. Today is June 19th. So if you're the first guys to do that as of June 19th, I'll even screenshot it to show, because my website keeps track of everybody who posts, keeps track of everybody and when they post and how they post, you know what I mean? So be the first 3 guys to post 5 products, and boom, you got a Black Magic Car Care gift package, all right? And I'll contact you when you win, man. So go ahead and jump on that. I'm telling you, it's the first one I had in a while. It's dope. Let's look out, say thank you to Black Magic Car Care products. Let's get it.